Late 1991, I was browsing a newspaper stand and came across the Caribbean Travel and Life magazine with an article on Derek Walcott, stating that it was twice in a row that Walcott's name had been mentioned in connection with nominations for the Nobel Prize, and that it was inevitable he would win the prize. Before this article, I was only vaguely aware of Walcott as a poet and playwright. I was definitely unaware that he was such a prominent writer. After reading the article, I hastened to the bookstore and picked up a copy of Walcott's Omoros, and I was in for a treat, because there was Walcott talking about me, about the place of my birth and upbringing, about the way I felt about my people and my country. I read Omoros twice, and since then I have bought and read most of Walcott's plays and poems. In Walcott's work, I found many gems. It was there that for the first time I found out about the Charbonnets, the women coal carriers. It was there that I found out that Chabin means red nigger. From one line of Walcott's poems, I was able to visualize the coal loading operations of the Charbonnets, which in Death by Fire allowed me to write a whole passage describing the Charbonnets in action. Later, I came upon a National Geography photo of the Charbonnets in action, which I adopted for the cover of my second book, The Struggle for Survival, and which was almost exactly what I had visualized from Walcott's poetry. So you could well imagine how I felt when, on the evening of the 8th of October, a few months after reading the article on Walcott, straight out of work, I flicked on the television, and as if by magic, there was Walcott being asked what did winning the Nobel Prize meant to him. I jumped from the sofa and screamed, oblivious to my neighbors. Immediately after, I started calling close friends, spreading the news. But this wasn't enough. So in the morning, I brought donuts to work and kept an impromptu breakfast party to celebrate with my American colleagues. But this still wasn't enough. So Saturday evening, I kept a house party to celebrate with friends. Notwithstanding all this, I remained in a state of pride and excitement. So I wrote a tribute to our Nobel laureates, which was published in the St. Lucia Voice newspaper. Then I thought, what a coincidence that only months after reading Walcott's work for the first time, he would win the Nobel Prize. But when a year later, the exact scenario repeated itself with Toni Morrison, I thought, coincidence my foot. Someone is trying to tell me something. Like Toni Morrison's novels, I keep revisiting Walcott's work, yet on each visit I am always amazed at the depth, breadth, and richness of his writings.